that we are holding this event today on the campus of the African School of Economics. So I will say a few words about what the school is, what ASE is. I'm going to let the Dean of the African School of Economics to say a few words, and the organization committee of Yassine Bokor, Alice Bonou, and one of the students who helped organize this event to also say a few words in terms of logistics. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Leonard Wanchekon. I'm the founder and the president of the African School of Economics, and also I'm a professor of politics and economics and international affairs at Princeton University in New Jersey. So first, let me welcome our colleagues who will be joining us as instructors at the beginning of the school. So we have Constantin Manda, who is currently at Yale University. So we have Kizito Omala, who is coming to us from Uganda. They will be presenting today. And then we have my colleague and friend from Manda, and Omala are my friend too, but you know, so yeah, my friend from Princeton University, Georgia Baboni, she'll be lecturing tomorrow on finance. So, and then I cannot tell you to come. I mean, this is, I just feel really proud and happy that we have on the continent people as dedicated to teaching and mentoring as Professor Agomor is, and brought his students all the way from Ghana. You know, if we couldn't fly, we will drive. We can't drive, we will walk. You know, we have to come, and they came, and this is really great. And then we have among us all the faculty of the African School of Economics present here. So we have he's there. David Bagidi is there as well. And shortly you are going to see Alice Bonou, who is also one of the faculty. She will be talking to you briefly. And then we have Seyon, we have Sam Seyon, who is also among us. He will, yeah. So that, and then we have the student from ASE. We have the three cohorts all present here. So we have the 2000, the class of 17. You know, those who are now in their second year in our master's program. We have, yeah, exactly. And then we have the first year. We have some of the first year students. The Ndoku just started. They are also among us here. You know, and then yes, and then and yeah, exactly. And not to mention, so first, very quickly, what is the Summer Institute for Economic Research? Basically, it's an annual event that we'll be holding, which have three parts. The first part, this year, it will be impact evaluation and research transparency standard here on all main topics in economics: political economy, economic history, agricultural economics, development economics, financial economics, and so on. And this year we have a mix of faculty from ASE, from foreign universities, and some of our students, because one of the things that we are really proud of at ASE is the research capacity of our graduate students. You know, for instance, two of them has got their papers accepted at some of the world-class conferences. You know, like the Center for Study African Economies have accepted papers from two of our master's students, and Wagape, which is a political economy conference run by NYU at Abu Dhabi, also have one of our students presenting. So it shows the dedication, and that's why having them part of the program, I think, is something that we are really, really proud of, and this is really important. Too bad that the program were too specific. You know, say here is the paper, and it's given by a master's student at ASC. This is a way to show that, you know, they are not to downgrade their participation and to say, well, they are included, and despite the fact that they are still, you know, very young. So now let me say a few words about the African School of Economics. It's a, you know, it's a graduate school of economics set up in 2010 that grew out of the grew out of the Institute for Empirical Research in Political Economy that was set up in 2004. And ASC was set up in 2010 and then opened its doors in 2014 with two programs. One is Mathematics, Economics, and Statistics. The other one is MBA, Finance and Management. And then this year, 2 years after opening its doors to the first cohort in 2014, this year we opened two new programs, master's program, one in Development Studies, Economic History, Political Science, and the other one in Public Administration. And I'm glad that our colleague from Ghana will be very happy to hear that here we also take public administration very seriously. So we have our masters in public administration. Now we also open a PhD program, a new PhD program in economics, and we are very proud to have, one of our PhD students here who just raised his hand, who is from Ghana, and who helped us start so that's what. But we also have three research centers. The Institute for Empirical Research in Political Economy, we have the Institute of Finance and Management, and soon we are going to have the Institute of African Studies, you know, which is going to promote African culture and history on campus. So that's what ASC is, and this is where the Summer Institute of Empirical Research, also of Economic Research, is coming from. And without further ado, let me just again thank all of you for coming here. So regarding before we talk about the program, I'm going to let the Dean Donfang, Father Claude, to talk to you very briefly, and then Alice will follow and then Yacinthe and Chinasa will follow. Thank you very much.
Fondovan. I'm one of the faculty of African School of Economy. I teach mostly microeconomics. I was very glad to coordinate this Summer Institute. And once again, thank you for your availability. Thank you for being with us. So, as you may be aware of that, the program is basically, we have 3 sessions. The first one related to training. The second one, some empirical research to be presented by our delegates. And finally, the policy forum and the IC commencement the last day. Yes, we try to put in the program work, academic work, but also some events, that will help us to interact, to enjoy ourselves, to taste also maybe some food from the meal, and so on. So particularly, that is it. And once again, thank you for coming. I would like to, the foreign student, to really take this opportunity to take advantage from this Summer Institute to interact with people, researchers, faculties, foreign people, delegates, so to build a very strong network that will help you during your career. Thank you for coming, and I enjoy the summer.
Pleasure to extend my greetings to all of you and a warm welcome in Benin, especially African School of Economics, especially to those who come for the first time. So just to invite my students to really take advantage of this special moment in terms of economic research. This is a great opportunity for each of you, not just to be in touch with one of the greatest researchers that are going to present here, but also to make contact and to level your knowledge and your research skill with them. So with no further ado, to give the word to her, I'll really wish you a fruitful discussion, and thank you for being part of this session. Thank you.
Hyacinthe Bouko, the Director of Operations of the African School of Economics. I'm in charge of the logistic part of the Summer Institute. This is the second time we are organizing it. Last year we had the opportunity to go elsewhere, to go to Tampopo and so on, but this year we are going to stay here from today to Friday, and on the Saturday we'll be working at Palais de Congrès, starting from the policy forum and ending with the commencement at 4 o'clock, at 4 p.m., let's say from 4 to 7. Just inform them about where you are going, and I think that they will be happy. During the days here, we will have 2 breaks. One break in the morning. We'll have a lunch around 1 o'clock. It will depend on your decision, how things will be going correctly. And during the afternoon, we'll have just a break, a coffee break. I've prepared a memo, a logistic memo that Melissa sent you. I think that you have several information in it, and I would like, if you need more information, my phone numbers are in it. You can.
A pre-doc students at the African School of Economics. Basically, I would like to speak to you about the social media handle. We would like you to follow the Twitter handle at ASC_Cotonou. It's written on the board, and you can follow the hashtag. You can just tweet about your experience at the African School of Economics, what you think you like about the school, and your experience at the Summer Institute. We would really appreciate if you did this so that it could increase the visibility of the African School of Economics. So thank you, and have
all of them for the wonderful work you have done. At the end, I'll tell you the story of the Summer Institute. You'll realize how much work, how much determination it took to put this together. So without further ado, we are going to leave it there and then ask our instructors to get started. Thank you very much.
Fall of 2015. And so this is why we're here, because we both got training at Berkeley. We got a network of SIGA affiliates in California, in the East Coast of the United States, around the world, in East Africa, and in the continent at large. I just wanted to briefly sort of talk about the center, and then we'll get into the first session. So, EAST, as I said, is a network of East African universities and research institutions. You have Makerere in Kampala, the African Population and Health Research Center in Nairobi. You have Addis Ababa University in Ethiopia, University of Rwanda, University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, where I'm from, and the Ethiopian Economic Association, USIU in Nairobi, and several others. So all of these research institutions and universities are part of this larger collaborative called EAST that is based within SIGA. The EAST approach is basically 3 fundamental things. The first is matchmaking, funding research, and capacity building. So Kizito and myself began our interaction with EAST by the capacity building arm of their operations. So we were brought to California. We stayed for a whole semester at the University of California at Berkeley, where we took classes, collaborated with PhD students and faculty members as well. East also funds research. You have to pair up with a Sier affiliate professor in the US. And typically there are these annual funding rounds. About $50,000 is awarded every year, up to $250,000 in these increments. And of course matchmaking as well. So trying to pair African students, African researchers with American researchers, with European researchers, with other African researchers to do really rigorous impact evaluation informed research, mainly in development economics, but it sort of varies. There are people who do political economy and several other things. And there are basically training sessions like this on impact evaluation methods, on policy, how to engage research practices, trying to encourage African researchers to sort of internalize these norms to try and improve how. I'm very, very happy to be here because I'm sure over the next few days I'll get to learn a little bit about people from Benin and other parts of West Africa. Rhonda Morgan, who is the lady who is in charge of East, and that's her email address. Definitely feel free to email her if you. So having said that, we're going to get started with our impact evaluation methodology. In terms of trying to understand causal inference, how do you make causal claims in research? And I will start with the organizer. We'll post all the the presentations today, and all the participants can get access to them. And if you need to go down, if I'm going too slowly, then definitely tell me to speed up. So in terms of causal inference, we're going to sort of talk about what exactly is an impact evaluation with those that did not get some intervention, and talk about why that is not the best way to do impact evaluation. So as we begin, what is an impact evaluation? An impact evaluation is basically change school and home. In the road improvement program, reduce vehicle transit time, success, or some outcome of interest that we care about. So an example would be, what is the impact of a cash transfer program on some household consumption? It can be signified by this alpha, which is basically our outcome, is the difference between our outcome given somebody got that intervention. Subtracted, you subtract that, whether the household has received treatment, consumption of the household, participating in the cash transfer, P equals 1. But we do not observe that same household not participating in the cash transfer. So we don't have this counterfactual of that same household, what would have happened to their outcomes, what would have happened to their consumption if their intervention actually harmed the people that you went to intervene. And there are many, many examples. It's not just something theoretical. In practical terms, there are places and projects that have sort of adverse effects on the beneficiary. I guess that's a great question. So, and in fact, climate and things that are agricultural are even easier to sort of instrument, as he will argue and several authors have argued, because you cannot manipulate. So this is the units of observations that you're interested in, because then you know that the reason they got treated is not, for example, the question of youth training, right? You have a group of a few people apply, and some of them get the job training. The problem is that those people, one of these famous papers that Ted has written, he uses rainfall as an instrument for material steps.
The point is, when we take climate change as a treatment,
if you take what is that as a treatment?
If we take climate change as a treatment, as it is a worldwide situation, how can we get the contemporary? How can we have some countries that do not experiment this phenomenon? So I think that this question is more difficult to find a counterfactual so that we can compare, get the impact, for instance, of production and so on and so on.
So once again, Ted and his co-authors, Solomon Siang at Stanford and some others, they've actually done, even though climate change is a global phenomenon, the intensity of that treatment is not unique. In the dry areas of Niger are experiencing climate change in ways that, for example, to estimate the counterfactual, I think it's much harder to tell the story, but you know, as a researcher, your outcome is also more intensified, right? So that creates a lot more confidence that, hey, you know, I've identified some places that have the highest intensity of climate change, let's say dry areas, have higher conflict incidence. But of course, you know, one of the biggest pitfalls, and Kizito, which is a tough sell, especially these days in the literature. So I definitely sympathize with researchers who are looking at the counterfactual. And you know, there are many examples in the literature where treatment is, let's say, leadership, you know, a country's leadership where everybody is treated.
If I was losing gas transfer to, because most of the projects fail behind the scene, and at the front where you know the people you have a little improvement. So what would be the best practice if I was to use gas transfer to conduct an evaluation?
He's asking what would be the best practice in terms of implementing. One of the things that you know, you'll be lucky in terms of doing research on cash transfers and thinking about implementing interventions of cash transfers is that there are so many of them. And the director as well, you know, was involved in one of the first impact evaluation studies on cash transfers, a program in Mexico called Progresa. I think it later became Oportunidades, or maybe the other way around. And you know, so you.
Bonjour monsieur.
Bonjour.
Présentez-vous. Après votre présentation, vous allez nous faire une synthèse. Donnez d'abord le titre de votre communication et nous faire la synthèse de la communication.
So you summarize what you just did with the students and after your presentation. So first present yourself.
Right. So we, Constantine Manda, myself, and Kizito Omala are here on behalf of the Center for Effective Global Action at the University of California at Berkeley.
Donc lui et Kizito Manda, son collègue, lui c'est Constantine Manda. You say
Kizito Omala.
Kizito Omala, Constantine Manda sont ici là pour le compte du Centre de recherche globale effective de l'Université Californie Berkeley aux États-Unis.
S'il te plaît, tu parles un peu fort parce qu'on va utiliser tout son.
Pardon.
Tu parles un peu fort
non, je parle,
pour que ça sorte dans le micro.
Ah, ok, yes.
Ok. Reprenez ce
ok, il dit qu'il est Constantine Manda, lui et son collègue Kizito Omala viennent de l'Université de Californie, Berkeley, aux États-Unis. Et il représente le Centre de recherche effective et globale.
Avant qu'il nous donne le titre et la synthèse de sa communication, si on le prend comme M. Constantine Manda, quel titre on va lui donner?
Okay, what's your title? Like,
Okay, so I am a PhD student in political economy at Yale University.
Donc, il est étudiant doctorant à Yale University en économie politique. Donc, vous pouvez dire étudiant doctorant à Yale University, département d'économie politique.
Yeah, and what we were doing this morning is basically to do training on impact evaluation methods.
Donc, ce qu'ils ont fait ce matin, c'est une formation en méthode d'impact d'évaluation. Okay, let's go.
So one of the first things that we discussed is to try to understand how it is that you think about impact evaluation, causal inference, specifically what this idea of the counterfactual. So the idea of the counterfactual is what would have happened to the people that you are intending to implement a project on if they were not given that project or not given that intervention.
Donc, c'est qu'ils ont commencé d'abord à donner une idée de ce que c'est que l'évaluation d'impact. Après, ils ont introduit la notion de contrefactuel. Dans le contrefactuel, c'est de manière la question de qu'est-ce qui aurait pu arriver à ceux que tu n'as pas donné le programme. Donc, après avoir tu as établi ton programme, tu as donné le programme à certains, qu'est-ce qui aurait arrivé à ceux qui n'ont pas reçu le programme? C'est ça qu'on appelle le contrefactuel. Donc, c'est la première notion qu'ils ont vue ce matin.
And then moving forward in the morning and this afternoon,
we will discuss both experimental methods and non-experimental methods of trying to estimate this counterfactual and estimate the impact of a project on its intended beneficiaries.
Donc, ce qu'ils vont faire tout à l'heure après la pause, c'est de donner les méthodes expérimentales et les méthodes non expérimentales et comment estimer le contrefactuel. Ce qu'il faut. C'est bon, la première question.
Ok. Quels sont les avantages d'apprendre cette notion, de venir sur cette communication? Un citoyen lambda qui vient sur cette communication, qu'est-ce que cette communication peut lui apporter dans son domaine?
Right. So the main advantages of getting training in impact evaluation and what the participants of this program will get after taking this training session is one, they'll be able to be critical when they are consuming research on development. So when you switch on the TV or you listen to the radio, you hear about some causal claim that we did something and then something great happened. So after today, we hope that people here will be able to say, well, what is the counterfactual? And be able to know whether the counterfactual is something that they estimated or not. The second thing is more technical. We hope that after today, people will be able to start to engage and utiliser the methods that they have learned here today.
Donc, c'est que les avantages d'apprendre ce domaine d'évaluation d'impact, c'est d'amener les participants à être critiques, avoir l'esprit critique. Par exemple, on peut présenter à la télévision que bon, voici un programme qu'on a établi et voici les résultats, c'est positif. Donc ils auront maintenant la possibilité de dire quel a été le contrefactuel et se demander si est-ce que les chercheurs dans le programme ont estimé le contrefactuel. Donc ça c'est le premier esprit que les participants doivent avoir. Le deuxième, c'est qu'ils espèrent, c'est que les participants utilisent ces méthodes-là dans leur recherche future.
Maintenant, est-ce qu'il peut nous déjà nous faire un bref aperçu, une synthèse de ce qui se passera le soir? Parce que vous savez, ce n'est pas évident de vous retrouver encore le soir.
Ah, ok.
Donc il peut déjà nous dire, disons qu'on est déjà à la fin de sa présentation du soir, il n'a pas nous faire une synthèse.
So you want you, because no,
in one sentence in the evening?
For the evening lecture, because he's not sure that he will interview in the evening. So
okay.
I want you to summarize what you will do.
Right. So like I said, in the afternoon and the evening, we will go through experimental method, which is what we call randomized design. We will go through what we call...
Okay, talk as if you already done the...
okay. So in the evening, what we have done is we have presented experimental methods, what we call randomized design. We have also presented what we call randomized promotion or instrumental variables. We've also presented regression discontinuity design, which is very popular, especially in political economy. We've also presented difference in differences, which is comparing two groups, treatment and control comparison group, throughout time. And we have also presented methods on research transparency and the research transparency norms. We have also discussed how to write pre-analysis plans and provided resources and websites on where people can go to register their designs and to encourage. We have also encouraged the participants to share their data, their code, and to be more transparent in the way they do research. And that is really the ending of our session.
Donc, ce qu'ils ont fait dans l'après-midi, c'est ils ont vu la méthode de randomisation, ils ont vu la méthode des variables instrumentales, ils ont vu la méthode de régression discontinuity. Donc, discontinuité dans la régression, si je veux traduire, et ce qui est très vu en économie politique, ça c'est une méthode très utilisée en économie politique. Et la dernière méthode, c'est difference in difference. La méthode est difference. Donc comparer les individus à travers le temps. Donc après, ils ont aussi vu la méthode de recherche et transparence dans la recherche. Donc il aimerait que les participants, après avoir vu ces méthodes, apprennent à être transparents dans la recherche. Donc il y a les sites sur Internet où ils peuvent s'enregistrer, ils peuvent publier leurs données dans la recherche, ils peuvent rendre public leur recherche. C'est ça qu'il appelle la transparence dans la recherche.
Ça.
c'est ça, les avantages pour les participants, pour la nouvelle communication du soir.
Les avantages.
Ouais. Ouais. So the advantages of both the methods part that we have instructed and also the research transparency is one, technical skills. So we hope that they have gained technical skills in terms of using these methods in their research. But secondly, in terms of research transparency, it is a very strong signal to the research community that you're not hiding anything. You're not doing anything that is maybe cooking the data. So if you are transparent in your methods, you're transparent with your data, you share your data. If somebody came and said, I want to replicate, I want to reanalyze your data, it shows that you're a strong researcher, and people will tend to say, you know, my friend Gaetano from Cameroon, he's a strong researcher, and I believe when he says that X causes Y, it is true because he's very transparent. He will offer you his data, his code, and so it is a strong signal of a great researcher.
Donc l'avantage le plus important, c'est la crédibilité dans la recherche. Vous savez, quand on conduit les recherches, certains chercheurs peuvent vouloir répliquer vos résultats, peuvent vouloir analyser vos données, pour pouvoir peut-être avoir certaines implications de vos résultats. Donc en amenant les participants à avoir l'esprit transparent, publier leurs recherches, divulguer leurs données, ça va amener la recherche à avancer et ça va aussi permettre à d'autres chercheurs de les prendre comme les chercheurs crédibles, donc les chercheurs forts. Donc c'est qu'un des participants dit X cause Y, c'est crédible et on peut accepter ça. C'est ça l'avantage d'être transparent dans la recherche.
Une dernière question, il n'a qu'à nous dire. Non, c'est fini, non?
Oui.
C'est fini? Son mot de fin sur la SE, sur le poste.
C'est pas la fin de la formation. Oh, okay. You want to say your word about DSA? A word about DSA. What do you think?
Sorry?
I asked, what do you think about ASC?
Wait.
Okay, say a word.
So I think it is a great initiative. I had the privilege in 2013 to meet Professor Leonard Wanchakon at the Center for the Study of African Economies in Oxford. I presented a paper. That was the first place I heard about the African School of Economics. I think it's unfortunate that most of us believe, and maybe it is true, that the best schools are outside of Africa. So I think the African School of Economics is a first excellent step to try and create centers of excellence, doing really rigorous research in development economics, political economy, health economics, in various other fields that are relevant in development. And I think it's a great start in terms of nurturing African talent, and I am very excited to be a part of it. I'm sure throughout my career, this is the first time that I will be engaging with the African School of Economics.
Donc pour lui, c'est une très grande initiative. Il a eu ce grand privilège de rencontrer le professeur Leonard Wanchakon lors d'une conférence à Oxford University, le Centre des études africaines économiques africaines. Et c'est en 2013, la première fois où il a entendu parler de l'African School of Economics. Et pour lui, c'est une grande initiative. Et on a toujours cru que les grandes écoles sont hors de l'Afrique, mais l'African School of Economics est le premier centre d'excellence. Et il pense que ça va porter les chercheurs africains, ça va amener la recherche en économie en Afrique à avancer.
Ouais. Merci. Si. Bon. Merci beaucoup.
Ethics, which is a very brilliant question. That randomizing can sometimes cause some discomfort. People get unhappy about it. However, because the resources are few and limited, or assigning people into the two groups where you have the treatment and where you have the control is done out of pure chance allocation. In that way, you have two groups that we consider to be statistically identical. In other words, we are simply saying that you have two groups of people that have on average the same characteristics or identical or pre-primary education everybody would like his or her child to go to school. There is excess demand. But as a country, you may not have the capacity to build. In that case, you will go on for randomized assignment. And then the other is, many times we have innovations. We have things that we are imagining perhaps might work out of theory, or we have seen it work some way. Of random assignment would be by having small pieces of paper on a hat, and somebody closes his eyes and picks and says, fine, can we compare and see who has been selected? And so this transparency makes it a rigorous evaluation. In other words, having a counterfactual that is useful for measuring effectiveness. Now, randomized assignment offers the same probability of inclusion in receiving a given program. Now, there are moments in which you may have limited resources, and it is a common thing. And you can have a rollout and say, let's have 3 phases in rolling out a given program. We leave it 3 pages. But should you try something else, you'll have to struggle in several pages trying to justify your counterfactual. So it is interesting what it means when you can actually randomly assign people to the different groups, right? Now, let's consider a population. This is the population, your target group. Like in this case, we have a target group that is the population. But I'm sure that as the invitation was being submitted, there were people who didn't qualify. So this member here, this person here is ineligible. So each time we have a rollout, it could be targeting perhaps unemployed youth, for example. So that means that whoever is employed and is a youth is ineligible. It does not qualify for that population. And so randomized assignment implies that we employ chance, first of all, to have a sample is different from sampling out of the population. When we sample out of the population, we want to get a group that is large enough that within the resources that we have, we can actually make inference about that population. Right? So in the first case, we define a given sample. And then out of that sample, by perhaps having every member of the population have an equal opportunity, we randomly choose those who will constitute a sample. Thereafter, we say, can we use a chance to generate 2 groups that are these 2 stages? The first stage here, where you were identifying a representative sample of the population, offers us what we call external validity. In other words, it offers us the opportunity to generalize what we shall find here to the entire population. Okay? Now, internal validity instead is looking at how good is the comparison group with the treatment group. So internal validity has to do with a good counterfactual, as Constantine had mentioned before, that these 2 groups must be identical. And on average, if you look at the persons that make up these 2 groups, there are 4 with black hats on either groups, 2 with white hats on either groups. So this offers the entire population. Okay? Now, let's look at what level must we randomize. What would be our randomization unit? We are targeting girls below the age of 20, for example. You can ask yourself, at what level do you randomize? Do you randomize at the level of the individual girls, or your target households, or your target schools, right? So we can have several units. It can be at the individual level, or household level, could be at the school level, or you're looking at the health facility, and you can say our target is that the facility that everybody, or it could be at a district level, or a municipal level. Now, what must we therefore take into account when we are identifying a unit? One is that you must have as many units that you consider must be reasonable. And here, reasonable depends on many other factors. What is the amount of time you have? If you are a master's student, perhaps you only have 6 months to conduct your research. If you're a doctoral student, you have perhaps 3 or 5 years only. Or it could be in terms of resources, how much money do you have with you, right? Then the other
maybe face a problem of finance to run your project. At that time, I'm wondering if at the end of your project, if you work with small sample, for sure you have a problem at the end. Maybe you have some kind of bias estimator and so on. So I want to know if at that time, how do you manage? Yes, because you have you must have a large sample, but because of finance, you have a small sample. In that case, how do you manage?
Great. The sessions that we shall present today also tackle the issue of transparency, right? Because many times when you get a publication, it's about 5 pages, 11 pages, but it does not contain every information. And that's why we are saying that, yes, are you able to tell the whole world that, look, this is what I have found, but interpret this data within this context. This was the sample that we had at the beginning that we considered a viable sample, but because of attrition, loss of the units, I have only gone to the follow-up with only this group, which is only 60% of the expected sample size, right? That kind of transparency gives the reader an understanding that, look, interpret these results with caution. But it would also be important to find out, is the group that actually left the sample, did they leave at random? In other words, what are their characteristics, those who actually left, if you are able to reach them, and to be able to estimate that actually those who left at random. But if instead those who left have a particular characteristic that is related to your outcome variable, then there is need to control for attrition in that case. Right?
So you give your name and the title of your presentation.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Kizito Mala from Makerere University in Uganda, and I've just been presenting on the experimental designs, randomized assignment. It is a very popular technique today of being able to measure impact of programs and interventions.
Je m'appelle Dr. Kizito Mala de Makerere University. Bon, je m'appelle Dr. Kizito Mala de Makerere University, Uganda. Et je viens juste de présenter une technique expérimentale d'impact de la région. Ça, ce sont les techniques populaires pour quand on veut construire les programmes d'intégration. Et les autres très populaires techniques que je viens juste de présenter. So, now give a summary.
Yeah, so this presentation is trying to say, how do we establish two groups that are comparable? One where you have the intervention and one where there isn't an intervention. So randomized assignment implies that you try to get two groups that have the same characteristics, such that if you have a program like giving food for school, you can actually discover what really works.
is the impact because children have been given food in order to go to school that improved their enrollment or not. So randomized assignment means that you give equal opportunity for the children to belong to either the control or the treatment group. One, the group that receives the intervention, and the group that doesn't receive the intervention. So equal opportunity to belong to the two groups is what we call randomized assignment.
Donc, dans en résumé, ce que j'ai présenté, c'est comment créer deux coûts comparables pour appliquer l'intervention. Un qui sera le coût traitement et l'autre qui sera le coût contrôle. La méthode expérimentale de randomisation permet de faire ça, c'est-à-dire de donner des opportunités égales aux individus d'appartenir soit au contrôle, soit au traitement. Si nous prenons par exemple le programme de donner, de fournir aux élèves des aliments qui vont leur permettre de mieux apprendre et d'avoir des bonnes performances à l'école, la technique de randomisation donne des chances égales aux enfants d'appartenir à l'un ou l'autre des groupes. Et maintenant, avec ça, on peut maintenant capturer l'impact du programme.
Quel serait l'avantage pour le participant, celui qui veut, les avantages qu'il est, celui qui est venu participer à cette conférence, qu'est-ce qu'il demande de garder, les avantages clés de la conférence pour le participant?
Which advantages the participant can gain?
Yeah. The participants here are students of economics from Ghana, from Benin, and so on. So this is the chance for the students to receive, knowledge about the current techniques that can be used in order to inform policy. All our countries, Uganda, Benin, Ghana, have limited resources in order to implement given interventions. And so this technique helps them to build the capacity within Africa to be able to judge what policy actually works. And so if we are able to measure impact on the basis of what policy has caused the impact, then we can better use our limited resources within Africa in a better way.
Ça, c'est donc une chance aux participants venant du Ghana d'avoir les techniques requises pour informer les politiques. Via, par exemple, la technique de randomisation, les participants pourront juger quel est l'impact du programme, l'impact, par exemple, une politique qui a été établie à l'intérieur d'un pays, quel est son impact, juger si ce que les résultats sont les résultats que donc ceux qui ont mis sur pied le programme, c'est les résultats qu'ils voulaient vraiment. Donc cette technique, c'est une chance pour eux d'avoir cette capacité, cette aptitude d'évaluer les programmes. Donc c'est à la fin de ce cours, ça sont les avantages qu'ils ont acquis.
Maintenant, comment vous poursuivez la SE?
Just give a word about this.
Yeah, I think this initiative of the African School of Economics is an important network, and it is useful for Africa, and also to have a place in which we Africans who have also had the chance to study some of these techniques in America and in Europe, to be able to offer what we have learned and the experience that we have to also a younger generation, so that we can expand the network of scholars within Africa. And this in itself is forming a kind of a think tank that can help propel Africa to the next level of being able to decide which policy works, and so to have ASE collect all these scholars from across Africa and from different backgrounds and also scholars from Europe and America is a great venture, and I look forward to seeing how this moves forward.
Okay. Ça, ce programme, ce Centre African School of Economics, cette initiative est très importante parce que premièrement, il donnera la possibilité aux étudiants africains d'avoir accès aux techniques qui sont étudiées dans les grands pays étrangers, et aussi il va aussi élargir le réseau économique d'Afrique de telle sorte qu'il peut maintenant cohabiter avec les économistes venus d'ailleurs. Et aussi, ça permettra, I don't know if I got the last point, if I remember, but c'est ça le majeur avantage que l'African School of Economics fournira aux étudiants africains.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great.
So I don't know also
The vaccination rate of children born in 1999. Why or why not? You find 10.9 percentage point difference. You say that this is the impact of all in the household. The impact on vaccination. Will this give you impact or not? With reasons. So discuss among yourselves, write the answer down, and then we move on. 5 minutes. Simple answers. Not so 6% among households who did not answer the telephone also vaccinated their children. 53.6. 64.5% are households that answered the phone and vaccinated. 53.6% are households that did not answer the phone but also vaccinated their children. So the difference is those were more likely, those who answered the telephone were more likely to have their children vaccinated than those who did not answer the telephone. Compare the households that answered the telephone versus those that did not answer the telephone. Assume that the 25,000 households that answered the telephone constitute the treatment group. And the remaining 35,000 households that got it too hard. It's too complicated. Trust me, the best answer is the simplest answer. There was somebody I was talking to at lunchtime, and I gave them a quote from Albert Einstein. Trust me, the simplest thing is the smartest thing. Okay, so we're going to move on. And the next questions, please, think about the simplest answer. Don't think about, I'm hearing people about phone calls and technology. I don't think it's necessary. All right, so... Yes. D'accord, mesdames et messieurs. Enough on this question. All right, so we're going to move on, okay? And I've been listening.
So we suppose we are the energy. So first we have a specialist. Yes. I can just say that.
Possible to print this? Can we print this?
Not print. Flash drive.
Yeah, if you have a flash drive.
And enough money has been collected because he's president, let us say, somebody assumes. But when you look at, for example, the rapid bus system, it was not established as soon as Magufuli became president. It was something launched before, I think by Kwete's first regime, you see. The other is, Uganda has discovered oil.